What's your worst nightmare? Is it your kids getting kidnapped? Is it your house burning down? Is it losing your job, living in poverty? Is it losing your freedom? Is it losing your ability to lead the life that you want to live? While there's really no wrong answer, in my opinion, everyone's worst nightmare, or one of the worst things that could possibly happen to us, it would definitely qualify as a worst nightmare, would be losing your ability to think freely. What's really terrifying is, as we know, the World Economic Forum is pushing for a total tyrannical takeover and an installation of a new world order, global government with global governance, one world currency. A lot of us, namely Christians, have grown up knowing the term New World Order and have always looked for the symptoms, the signs, and the things that people say in government, and the things they've said for the last 100 years. They've been leading up to really this point. But it's always been behind the veil of secrecy. Secret societies, as JFK once said, is repugnant to a free society. All that being said, the World Economic Forum, they've really been saying some crazy shit lately. That is not exclusive to the eat bugs and be happy or whatever. You'll own nothing and you will be happy. We just live in crazy times. What is the most insane thing that I've ever heard in my entire life is monitoring brain wave activity. This is their new push. Here in a second, I'm going to play a video for y'all that I definitely wouldn't play this for my kids or my daughter under any circumstance. It's terrifying, it's dystopian, and it's George Orwell times 100. So the World Economic Forum recently came out, and they were talking about being able to monitor brainwave activity. Oh, and I mentioned the cartoon. The animated short that they've made depicts a world where employers and the government can use your brainwave activity and other things, your heart rate. These things can all be used. It's data, is what they say, to determine what your actions are, what your intentions are, and really be able to fabricate or put together what you're thinking in that moment. So the World Economic Forum, they've come out, and Nita Farahany, I believe I'm saying that right, Nita Farahany has, I guess you would say, been the spokesperson for this, spokeswoman. If I'm misgendering you, Nita, I sincerely apologize. Surely you don't really care. You just push that narrative. But that's neither here nor there. So the speech titled Ready for Brain Transparency, I'll post the source for this in the description. The American Iranian provided a scenario whereby workers would have their brain waves measured to monitor anything from productivity and tiredness to love interests and illegal activity. Now that's the part we really need to stick on. Because if you, let's just say, for instance, we'll picture a scenario. You challenge the man. This is Big Brother times 10, times 100. We've got Big Brother on our phones. We all walk around as basically human tech hybrids currently. Our phone never leaves our side hardly, and it's always listening. Now, the scary thing is that illegal activity. You challenge the man. Big Brother, what this is, let's say you challenge the system. Well, looks like Kaylin, Jennifer, Tommy, Tanya, whatever your name may be, it looks like you've been involved in some illegal activities. Have you been laundering money? We actually saw somebody that you knew in second grade is now in prison for money laundering. They're about to go to trial. We noticed that your brain waves are in sync with theirs. We're going to try you for the same exact thing. There is no limit to this, and this technology is beyond terrifying. So in short, we could go through all this. You can read through it. So you'll have the link there in the description. A quote from her that I find particularly interesting and also depraved and terrifying. What you think, what you feel, it's all just data. Data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways we never before thought possible. So here's where all of this takes a turn for the worse, because when we think of this, I'll be able to prevent this from happening to me because I refuse the mark of the beast. Even if you're not a Christian, whatever, I don't think anybody's really too apt to getting a chip in their brain for obvious reasons. The wrong person gets their hands on this technology and what controls it, who knows what could happen. The scariest part of all this and the technology, it really is fascinating, but it's terrifying at the same time. It's not an implantable chip. It's not, it doesn't require invasive procedure to install some type of equipment that measures and monitors your brainwave activity. It's a wearable. And according to the government and the World Economic Forum, this technology already exists. Is it a surprise? No. But they're calling it the Fitbit for the brain. Well, that Fitbit for the brain, okay, well, we might say, well, I'm not buying that. I'm not going to use it. If they give it to us, government issued and mandate it, I'm not using it. Well, what happens when you don't know that you're wearing the Fitbit for your brain? It could be in anything. The technology advances and they get enough use out of this and trials begin. They could put it in your shirt. It could be in my shirt right now. They also have said that it could be implemented in tattoos. So there's another concern. At any rate, this is just so far past the ethical limit of surveillance, and there's really not much of an ethical limit for surveillance. We've seen what has happened over the years with the Patriot Act, the FISA court. These intelligence apparatus or apparati, they are always used and manipulated into a position where they can be used on perfectly lawful citizens. So we'll look at this video and just bear with it. The very beginning, I believe it was Nita talking, but then you'll see the animated clip, and it'll tell you all you need to know. So just enjoy that, because I have a feeling you're probably going to want to tell your friends, your family, and everybody that you know and meet about this. This cannot be allowed to happen under any circumstance. So enjoy it.
First off, a video. It's going to make you see the future and understand a wonderful future where we can use brainwaves to fight crime, be more productive, and find love. Let's roll.
Sensing your joy, your playlist shifts to your favorite song, sending chills up your spine as the music begins to play. You glance at the program running in the background on your computer screen and notice a now familiar sight that appears whenever you're overloaded with pleasure. Your theta brainwave activity decreasing in the temporal regions of your brain. You mentally move the cursor to the left and scroll through your brain data over the past few hours. You can see your stress levels rising as the deadline to finish your memo approached, causing a peak in your beta brainwave activity right before an alert popped up, telling you to take a brain break. Your mind starts to wander to the new colleague on your team, whom you know you shouldn't be daydreaming about, given the policy against intra-office romance. But you can't help fantasizing just a little. But then you start to worry that your boss will notice your amorous feelings when she checks your brain activity and shift your attention back to the present. You breathe a sigh of relief when the email she sends you later that day congratulates you on your brain metrics from the past quarter, which have earned you another performance bonus. When you arrive at work the next day, a somber cloud has fallen over the office. Along with emails, text messages, and GPS location data, the government has subpoenaed employees' brainwave data from the past year. They have compelling evidence that one of your coworkers has committed massive wire fraud. Now, they're looking for his co-conspirators. You discover they are looking for synchronized brain activity between your coworker and the people he has been working with. While you know you're innocent of any crime, you've been secretly working with him on a new startup venture. Shaking, you remove your earbuds.
What do you think? Is it a future you're ready for? You may be surprised to learn that it's a future that has already arrived. Everything in that video that you just saw is based on technology that is already here today. Artificial intelligence has enabled advances in decoding brain activity in ways that we never before thought possible. After all, what you think, what you feel, it's all just data. Data that in large patterns can be decoded using artificial intelligence. We're not talking about implanted devices of the future. I'm talking about wearable devices that are like Fitbits for your brain. The newest way to monitor attention is through a device like this one. These are ear pods that are launching later this year. These ear pods, much like the video you watched earlier, are ear pods that can pick up brainwave activity and tell whether or not a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering. Okay, well, you might think, fine, but even if we can tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, you can't tell what they're paying attention to. You would be wrong. Turns out that you can not only tell whether a person is paying attention or their mind is wandering, but you can discriminate between the kinds of things that they're paying attention to. Whether they're doing something like central tasks, like programming, peripheral tasks, like writing documentation, or unrelated tasks, like surfing social media or online browsing. When you combine brainwave activity together with other forms of software and surveillance technology, the power becomes quite precise. So what do we do with this? What do we do with technology that enables us to monitor brainwave activity for attention? Do we embrace it? Do we resist it? I believe that there is a pathway forward with such technology. We might soon even use the technology to help people wake back up. This is a haptic scarf that MIT Media Lab has developed, which uses brainwave technology in a responsive way to give a person a little buzz, literally, when their mind starts to wander, to help them refocus and hone their attention. I'm giving you the positive use cases because what I don't want the reaction to be is, let's ban this.
Well, there you have it. You are well aware of their plans. You know what they're going to try to do to you. You know what they've said in the past and how it continues to escalate. These are unelected representatives, in large part. Some of the people who attend the World Economic Forum, well, they are elected representatives. These are what used to be closed-door meetings. Now they're saying it out in the open. What are they saying behind closed doors at this point? I'm assuming that we'll figure out at some point. So stay vigilant. Continue to inform people that aren't aware of this. Share it. Tell everyone, because this information cannot go unnoticed. There's a couple of other things that have come out recently in terms of authoritarianism that they're not getting talked about either, many of which are extremely concerning being an election year. So if you enjoy the video, please don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on notifications. This is all up to you. You're a free person. I'm not going to measure your brainwave activity so that I know you subscribed, liked, and shared it. At any rate, stay free. Again, stay vigilant. We have to do something to stop these people. I'm just a guy talking at a camera with 30 subscribers. What can I do? Well, I'm going to keep working. I'm going to bring you all quality content, and I'm going to continue to push information that makes people uncomfortable because it's true. And that's what we have to do, Christian or not. Stay in the fight. Don't lose hope. Don't lose faith, because good will come out on the end.